you.
Now we're recording. Good morning, Ruth. How are you? John
Good.
Payton. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming in.
Sure.
How exciting.
Yes.
I can't wait to get a big old hug.
Well, I could give it to you
Well,
right now.
by God, well, hold on. We got to get that on YouTube. Come
They're
here.
on YouTube.
We'll get that. Now, Dr. B,
Yes.
I'll tell you, I'm pretty darn excited because we've got not one board operator today,
But
two board operators today. Look at that. Aren't those a handsome group of fellas? I'll tell you, those guys are good looking. See, there he is. Look at this. Look at this. It doesn't get any better than this right here. Bill will be with us tomorrow as he is framing out his face. So Bill will be with us tomorrow. Sharavius is going to Atlanta, Georgia. He's running a all-female conference. Isn't that right?
Yeah, over 5,000 females.
5,000 females in one place. And so that's going to be exciting to see how he does with that. Oh, there he is. There's Sharavius. Yeah, you'll send pictures. He's going to send pictures, so that's kind of exciting as well. But in studio today, we have Vickie Whiteside, our hero of the week. Thank you, Peggy Yarborough, for nominating her. We also have in studio Ruth Thompson, right? Yesterday I called you Thomason, but it's Thompson. And Ruth she has got such a fabulous story that I cannot wait until we get to her segment. We're going to be talking about hugging people. I mean, how much more fun is that? And it's going to be hugging people with food and service and being able to lift a part of our community that we sometimes forget are very capable, very excited about being able to make you happy. And we're going to get into that as we get into her segment. So I'm very, very excited to have Ruth on. And so I've always excited to have Dr. B on.
I'm excited to be here, too.
And Dr. B is always excited to be here. You know, 4 in the morning
Absolutely.
does not come soon enough every day for us. And so, although I do think that you're getting a little grayer, Dr. B.
It could be. Well, it's Men's Health Month, so I'm growing the beard for Men's Health Month.
Yeah, you know, my mother didn't believe that. My
didn't
mother,
like
she
that?
goes, she calls me like, you know, we should say the things, we need to do a segment, the darndest things that moms say to their kids,
yeah.
right? Yeah, my mother, she tells me, she says, John, you just don't look good on radio when you don't shave. And I said, well, Mom, what's that mean? Stop recording and shave before you and then come back. And I said, but Mother, it's Men's Health Month. She goes, John, you're making that up. There's no such thing as Men's Health Month. And I said, no, I swear it is. And she goes, no. I said, and it's No Shave November. John Edward. And that's when you know it's all done. John Edward, there is no such thing as No Shave November. Well, I tell you what it is. She's hoping I don't call my dad and tell my dad, hey, Dad, No Shave November means you don't have to shave for the month. But anyways, I said, well, can't you see that Dr. B's got his beard going? No, John. He cleans up very nicely around his goatee. Looks very handsome. I said, no.
1 minute.
Said, no, you just can't see the hairs because they're coming in whiter.
There you
I
go.
said, he's got a beard growing. So, folks, it is really No Shave November, and it is really Men's Health. And we're super excited that we're on YouTube. Tell all your friends to subscribe and come and enjoy every morning with us here at KEXB 620 AM. All right, we're going to get back in the chair because it is time to get back started. Oh, by the way,
30
Ruth,
seconds.
say good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
And we're excited to have Ruth here, and hopefully you all go with us and enjoy breakfast on Sunday, because my plan is to go get a hug on Sunday. All right.
Oh, just about.
Just about. Perfect. You know, Sharavius, I'm going to tell you what. If Bill does not play the banjo for us when we come back to break tomorrow, Bill is fired. I'm going to bring him a banjo.
Well, I was going to say, I thought we were going to have the real thing tomorrow.
Oh, I'm bringing him a
online.
banjo.
Right.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to get a picture of Bill on YouTube where he's playing the banjo. Bill, are you going to play the banjo for us tomorrow? All right, fantastic. I'm bringing him one then. How about a ukulele? You'll just play it. All right. There we go. Well, folks, welcome back to On Point with JP and Dr. B. I am super excited. I always love Thursdays because Thursdays I feel like is kind of our fun show leading up to our huge, big fun show on Friday. Don't forget that you can call in tomorrow. Tomorrow's our big call-in day. We want to hear your stories about the darndest things your kids have said to you. And I've got a whopper tomorrow from my niece. Oh, my goodness, did we have an interesting week this week.
Excellent. And, you know, kids are always so much fun, and they can come up, especially the younger it seems, the more interesting things they can come up with. So we'll have fun tomorrow. But we want to remind our listeners that they need to call in today for that wonderful 4-pack of tickets to, what is it?
Sea Life Aquarium. And the key word, Dr. B, is?
Veterans.
Veterans, in honor of our Veterans Day yesterday, and really I call it kind of Veterans Week.
Veterans Week, yeah.
And so then, of course, we had the Marine Corps birthday on Tuesday, so that's always exciting as well. But you call in at 214-787-1160.
That's 214-787-1160.
And you just use the word veterans if you're the 10th caller. And if he tells you you're caller 1, hang up and call right back, by golly.
Yeah, keep calling. You might be the lucky winner. And it really is a nice package that you get to do.
It's got an $80 to $100 value. And the aquarium is actually very, very cool. I went and took a tour of the aquarium with Amy Estrada, who's their, I think, assistant director of marketing, their marketing person there. And just had, amazing what they do with the kids. They have you ready for this? A petting zoo. Of course, it's an underwater petting zoo.
Underwater petting zoo.
And the kids can come in and they can touch some of the fish. And I asked her if they ever took the naughty ones that are on the naughty list into the shark tank. And she said, no, JP, we don't let the kids pet the sharks. And I'm like, oh, okay. Bill and I would have been there petting the sharks.
Yeah,
Bill's shaking his head.
Would have been in big trouble.
Yeah, probably would have. There's no doubt about it. But so Thursdays are fun, but Fridays are even more fun for us, and we like to do that build up. So again, call in tomorrow with some of the craziest or darndest things your kiddos said. If you can't call in, send us messages tonight on our Facebook page at either JP and Dr. B or at John Edward Payton on Facebook, or you can go to our Twitter account and tweet us. That is right? We're not twits, right?
That's correct.
Oh, good, because that would be bad.
It's tweets.
It's tweets. Okay, good. You can tweet us also at JP and Dr. B. But right now in studio, I am excited that we have our hero of the week. And again, Peggy Yarbrough, thank you for nominating her. Vickie, welcome to On Point with JP and Dr. B.
Thank you.
And so, Vickie, we were talking earlier that you've kind of blazed the saddle over there at the Dallas Theological Seminary. For all of you that are catching up, this is our section of our show where we honor a veteran or a first responder. Vickie is a peace officer, a police officer at Dallas Theological Seminary, and she was the first female police officer. I always like doing things first on our show.
Not only is she the first, she is the only female police officer at Dallas Theological Seminary.
So that's very exciting all the way around. I'll tell you what. Now, Vickie, we were talking a minute ago, and I think this is important to hit home. Yesterday we talked about teachers and students a little bit, and we talked about how they can get in that middle of the semester and they hit kind of a slump and everybody's getting tired and the assignments are getting harder. And so how do you keep those students engaged? And a lot of the things that we talked about was kind of backing off from yourself a little bit and using some awareness to understand how you feel so that you don't impose those feelings upon students. And it kind of sounds like that's the way you are as a police officer. Do you have some other examples of some people you've had to engage with that you've, by your approach being, hey, you know what, let's talk about this, let's use some common sense, where that's been more effective than, drawing the gun and put your hands up kind of deal?
Well, I actually work Monday nights at a place called Our Calling, which works with the homeless. They do Monday night football. A different church comes in and feeds them. And I have been able to change the perception of a lot of these people. As an officer, I used to write numbers on their hands. And I tease them, I said, how else am I going to hold your hand? For the homeless, that's a big deal to be touched.
Right.
Now, I get hugs as they leave.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be back next Monday night, So, for me, I was able to reach out to them, which I have a blast on Monday Night Football with these people. I look forward to going. I get excited.
So it doesn't sound like it's work for you. It is your work, but it's fun also, isn't it?
It is. I truly enjoy it. That is, thanks to Dallas Theological Seminary is how I found them, because they do a Thanksgiving dinner. They're just like everybody else. They want to be talked to. They want to be shown respect. And so, like I said, across the board, I don't care what your past is. I'm just worried about what we're doing right now.
Right.
And I have a good time wherever I'm at. Try to stay upbeat.
Touching lives and moving people in a positive direction is what life is about, isn't it? And we can do that in various roles, no matter what our job is, whether we're a police officer like yourself or no matter what job we have. I think for our listeners, one of the key things today is to think about how do we move people forward, not just ourselves, but how do we encourage others? And that'll go a long way.
I think so. I think in society today it's more about what makes me happy. But I have found if you work on making someone else happy, you get the pleasure. And so I like to see people happy. I love to be able to help someone.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as pushing a gentleman in a wheelchair to help him get across the street because he can't do it on his own, busy.
Now, you, again, and we're going to let our listeners know, you started in law enforcement a little bit later in life. It was not something you did when you were 18. And as a person who started later in life and is able to use that wisdom that comes with those years, what would you recommend to a younger officer? You know, a gentleman or a female officer that had not had the opportunity to gain that wisdom, choose a little bit later in life this line of work, they chose it young. What kind of advice would you give them to maybe help their shift just go a little bit better?
You need to remember that the badge, it is a job. It's not who you are. And it doesn't give you more privileges as anybody else. You need to be above reproach. So don't be doing something you're going to write somebody a ticket for or arrest them for. If you're going to do this, you have to be accountable. And that's going to be on your own because you're going to be working by yourself. I think that makes a big deal. A lot of people want to put the badge on and they get puffed up and, well, look who I am. No, we're here to serve.
One of the things we do, Vickie, I should say Officer Whiteside, is that we also do a Student of the Week. And how would you encourage young people that are looking at careers to go into law enforcement?
Well, I would recommend them doing it a little bit later because I think that life experience does it. I was 45 when I went to the academy. I think it makes a difference. Young people, I call them young and done before 25.
I can believe that. I was young and dumb before 25.
So, I think a little bit of a life experience helps you to be able to deal with people in different situations and not to just lose it when you're, faced with something that's a little different.
Well, we know that the brain isn't even fully developed until about 24 or later. So I would concur with that. But, I know a lot of kids, young people are interested in law enforcement, going that direction. And I think that's really some good advice from a sage, experienced officer at the whole old. She went in at 45 and she's 46 today and been there for 8 years. So it's fantastic.
It works well that way, Dr. B.
It does.
Just a couple quick shout outs. Vickie, Liberty Hill, Texas wants you to know they're listening this morning, and they say good morning and God bless you for your service. Innsbruck, Austria says good morning this morning, and they want to wish you well as being our hero of the week. Also, Danielle, who's one of our young listeners, she has typed in already this morning and says, God bless all of our officers out there, and thank you for your service. And so, folks, thank you for tuning in and listening. Sarah Bennett has logged in this morning as well from Philadelphia, PA, and we have got Francois Dubuque from Perth, Ontario, that says, God bless all of our peace officers out there in the world. And so it's a fantastic response, Vickie. One of the last questions I'm going to ask you, and this is one of those big ones, how do you deal with all of the anxiety that develops when you have shootings on campus? I mean, we've just had the Oregon issue. Do you guys go into a practice mode? Do you go into a high alert mode to make sure that your students are safe? And how often do you drill on having to deal with, very sadly, some kind of tragedy like that?
Well, we do usually discuss it with my chief or a sergeant. I take quite a bit of active shooter classes, or have. But when something has happened like that, I try to up my patrols. I do a lot of foot patrols. I don't like to drive our squad car, or we have a golf cart. I like to walk in and out of the buildings. That way I know what's supposed to be there, what's not, who students are usually around. And it makes a difference. I'm hoping I could spot something because I promised that I would protect these people, and I take it serious. If a shooting happens, am I going to be scared? Yes, I am. But I promise to run towards those bullets, and that's what I'm going to do.
And that's, I tell you what, I applaud you. That's fantastic. Arminda Mills out in Princeton, Texas says good morning, and she said she shared our word, humanism. She put it on our Facebook page and then shared it with her friends. And so I will tell you that, Vickie, you are the epitome of humanism, and I'm so proud to have you out there protecting our campus, but also protecting our streets. Thank you so much for being our hero of the week.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Vickie. Congratulations.
And the Hero of the Week is brought to you by Barnes Waste Disposal. For all your waste disposal needs, get in touch with Barnes Waste Disposal at barneswds.com. That's barneswds.com. Well, folks, it is the 6:28 hour. Guess what time it is? It is time to call in and win a family 4-pack to Sea Life Aquarium. We're going to go to break. Let those phones begin ringing.
214-787-1160. Call now.
Sharavius, get us a winner.